Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Game Informer Show, a weekly video game podcast releasing every Thursday. I am your host, Alex Stadnick, and as always, I'm honored to be joined by the illustrious Alex Van Aken. Hello, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me. Third time's a charm. We've deleted this intro twice now, each multiple minutes into the recording, but we're here. Also, fun fact about me, Alex, changing the subject a little. These glasses, they're fake.
You're a phony.
I have 20/20 vision, all right? It's cosmetic.
Bro, did you literally just get glasses to do this flex here on the show today?
Yeah, and I've been wearing them for 6 months to build up to this bit. But I'm here to reveal they're just blue light blocking glasses.
You literally wear those all the time.
Yeah, I
Even
get
in public.
migraines. I get migraines.
Guys,
In public?
You get migraines from everything.
Okay.
I don't just get migraines in private, Alex. It's not like, I'm in my bedroom alone.
Never seen you with
Time to
migraine.
get
That's
'em-
all I'm saying. Yeah.
Because I stay home.
I'm not impressed by this ad read at all.
Internet ruined this man's life for faking
What?
poor eyesight.
I never said I had poor eyesight. I just look so good, you know?
He's on that Kevin Durant level. Yeah, I can feel it. I see that. Join us each episode. Eat your heart out. Join us each episode alongside a rotating crew of GI editors and special guests from around the industry as we bring you the latest news, reviews, and big man swag your eyes and ears can handle. This week, another big one, folks. We got impressions of Tiny Tina. We have impressions of Kirby, of Ghostwire Tokyo, and we're going to be talking about a little game called The Witcher here momentarily. But first, let's introduce our panel. John Carson, King of Late Night, in the building. I realize I say it's good. I realize I say in the building when none of us are actually in the building.
I wish we were in the building. Like,
We're collectively in a building.
Yeah, just not the same building.
give me some microphones. Get me at a table across from you guys, and let's do this thing in real life.
Just have some fun, you know. John, this is the first time you've been on since you became the co-host of a little video game podcast called Video Gameography.
That's true, and my first episode has not even aired yet. That happens this Saturday when we begin. When Marcus Stewart and I begin our new series of video gameography of the BioShock franchise.
Oh,
yeah,
very exciting.
So diving down into Rapture for the first episode. We are pros at re-recording entire podcast episodes because that first recording did not turn out. So now that we've done this intro 3 times,
we can only go up from here.
Right, exactly.
It's a descent into Rapture, but this podcast is on ascent into
Columbia.
Yeah. Oh, let's not go there.
I mean, we're going to go there in 2 weeks when
you will
dissect BioShock Infinite on
There you
Video
go.
Gameography every Saturday. Check it out.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. You guys are going to do the PS Vita version of BioShock 2, right?
Yeah,
And
then we're going to do the Switch versions of the remastered collection as well. Sir
Perfect.
Alex Stadnick, we are actually recording with you tomorrow for next week's episode of BioShock 2.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I hope you're ready.
I'm getting there. I unironically love that multiplayer, so I'm excited.
I need you to actually play the whole game tonight. So.
Okay, I'll get right on that.
All right, great.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
And then sitting there patiently, the beautiful boy himself, who I still don't have a nickname for, Blake Hester. Hello, sir.
Do I need a nickname?
That's kind of my thing. I've been given nicknames. I tried one on an earlier take, and you were very anti that one.
Can we
What
call
about the HBIC of Game Informer, the head Blake in charge?
That's
Ooh,
very good, actually.
I like that, actually. There you go. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can you regale us about the week's news? Something big came up this week.
Yeah. This one comes from Mr. Wes over on the Game Informer news team. Wes LeBlanc, of course. CD Projekt Red announces a new Witcher game will be made in Unreal Engine 5. Wow, that's big news for multiple reasons. Number one, new Witcher game. Awesome. I think we all probably expected that would happen eventually, but Who's going to be the protagonist? Is it Ciri? Is it Geralt? Nobody knows. But what we do know is that they are making the change from their internal engine to Unreal Engine 5. And let's go ahead and read the story real quick. CD Projekt Red, the studio behind Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, has announced that the next installment in the Witcher series is currently in development. The studio announced this news on its website today. This was a couple days ago now, citing that this new Witcher game will be, quote, kicking off a new saga for the franchise. As for who the protagonist will be and where it takes place in CD Projekt Red's Witcher timeline thus far, that remains unknown. However, the studio did reveal that it's moving away from its Red engine, which is the in-house engine the studio used to develop Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher 3, to develop this new Witcher game on Unreal Engine 5. Quote, this is an exciting moment as we're moving away from Red Engine to Unreal Engine 5, beginning a multi-year strategic partnership with Epic Games, end quote. The studio's announcement reads, it covers not only licensing, but technical development of Unreal Engine 5, as well as potential future versions of Unreal Engine where relevant. We'll closely collaborate with Epic Games developers with the primary goal being to help tailor the engine for open world experiences. And then Wes goes on to editorialize at this point. No further details regarding this game are available, but he also says that Witcher 3 is amazing. He loves it so much, and it's his favorite game ever. That's not in the story, but I said the word editorializing and then realized there wasn't actually any editorializing in the story, so I felt the need to add that little tidbit.
We have some straight chaotic energy here today.
We do.
I'm
we
here
do.
for it. Frankly, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the news story. What are we thinking, boys? What are we thinking about this? I for one am excited. I still haven't beaten Witcher 3. I've started that game over 3 times.
Who has?
And I like 100% White Orchard. Then I get to the No Man's Land, and then I fall off. But maybe this time,
You got
is
that
the
motivation.
because I love White Orchard. White Orchard, probably one of the best starting areas in video games. It's full of things to do. You find that battlefield with all the corpses, and then you realize you can loot all of them. Oh, that's such a cool moment.
That is the highlight. Sure, yeah.
The Griffin fight, it's great.
Griffin
but
fight's good.
John, you go ahead, take it away. How you feeling?
Like you guys said, it's not really surprising that there's going to be a new Witcher game, especially after everything that happened with Cyberpunk. So they kind of have to go back to their breadwinning franchise. And it's also it's a little surprising that they're going with the new engine, but also after the debacle of Cyberpunk, like going with something that probably has better support attached to it and will potentially perform better is a very safe bet. And I'm happy that they're going that route. Other than that, yay, more Witcher, I guess. Sure.
Yay.
Yeah, yay.
Yeah.
Bring back the Bloody Butcher, the Bloody Baron. Is that the
Bloody
dude's name?
Baron? And because Geralt is the Butcher, the Bloody Butcher, right? And then the Bloody Baron is a separate quest from Witcher 3.
No, the Baron, Bloody Baron
getting
is a character though. So you're right on there.
Great.
Wait, I think y'all are misunderstanding me. I'm right. You're wrong.
Oh,
He's the Butcher of Blaviken.
Yeah,
Not the
that's what I'm
bloody-
saying.
No, you
Yeah.
said the Bloody Butcher.
Those are different things.
I was
We're trying to say
I was pretty much saying that
You
Geralt
know you're
was
not
the
doing
Butcher,
a good job.
and that the Bloody Baron was a a character and part of a quest line in The Witcher 3. Why is everybody trying to get on my back today?
You know you're not doing a good job if I have to step in and correct you about fantasy lore.
Damn, that's true.
just going to clarify for everyone listening. I've played like 12 hours of The Witcher 3. I never finished it, so I'm not going to claim to be an expert on that game specifically. But yeah, I think it's cool that it's continuing for the fans that are out there. For Blake, Blake's finished 3. Are you excited for a new go at the Witcher world?
Yeah, what's up? I have finished 3. I've also finished Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. Hearts of Stone is better than the main game. I'll say it right here. That's one of the best, probably one of my favorite things I played. Is that Hearts of Stone DLC. Do got a little bit of a scoop here for you. We were pontificating on the protagonist of the game. Hey Siri, Are you going to be the protagonist of Witcher 4? As a visual gag for the viewers watching, I also have
It could
Siri.
be an audio gag if you actually
No,
let her talk.
I have Siri turned off. I don't want that idiot on my phone. No, it's cool. I like what those folks over at CD Projekt Red do. I like The Witcher 3 a lot. I like Cyberpunk 2077 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm stoked to play more Witcher, especially if Geralt isn't the dang protagonist, because he's a bump on the log, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Bold move, CD Projekt Red, to make the character I play as the most boring character in the game. But yeah, it's cool. I'm stoked.
Not a Geralt fan, huh?
No, not really. Kind of sucks.
Okay.
Fan of basic every single other character in that game. I think those games those games. It's one game and 2 expansions. I think they're great. I loved them. I had a great time when I was an intern at Game Informer. I played through all of them during my time as an intern because wasn't being paid for 3 months.
Okay.
Way to stretch that dollar.
Yep. Well, that's a good way to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I did beat Witcher. Loved it.
Well, we're talking about Witcher 3.
I did beat Witcher 3. Thank you for clarifying. I have been waiting. No, I haven't been. I just haven't played the DLCs, even though that's interesting, Blake, because I've heard Blood and Wine is like the best. DLC.
People say this. They always talking out of the side of the damn neck about this. And I think because I played those games in such short succession, by the time I hit Blood and Wine, I was burnt out. So I think, unfortunately, I did not get an optimum way to play that. But I stand by it. I think Hearts of Stone I enjoyed more than the main game. Yeah. Not that I didn't like the main game. I just love Hearts of Stone.
Main game is great. I'm where Witcher 3 ends is I'm excited that the playbook is kind of open for them, right? To see where this goes. I know a lot of people were thinking Ciri is the main character next. We did get a little clarification.
Yeah, did she ever get back to you, Blake?
Yeah.
I haven't turned her on. Yeah. I don't even know how to turn her on.
She's busy talking to Eurogamer because they did confirm with CD Projekt that the emblem in the teaser image, right, is a lynx, which this is one of the first times in canon that they've brought up a lynx, because it's like there's different houses, right? And one of the, I think why a lot of people were excited for the potential of Ciri being the main character was because she has the cat medallion, right? From the cat house or whatever it is.
You cannot say.
Blake, you can't. We are already. This is a rough podcast. We can't. Yeah.
It's Alex Stadnick at GameInformer.com if you got complaints on that one.
Yeah. So it still could be, right? Like, I think this could be a sign that she is forming her own house, right? And taking those teachings she's learned from her experience thus far in the Witcher series and using that, especially because I feel like Ciri was big in 3, right? And she's a huge part of the show and obviously the books too, right? But like, I feel like more like publicly, she's like one of the bigger focuses and she's great. Like, I love her character in the 3rd game. So,
y'all ever read those books?
Last Wish, yes. The rest of them, no.
Yeah, in the native language, sure. Yeah.
Which one?
That's right.
Okay.
I read that first one. It's cool.
Yeah, it's real good. I liked what they did on the show with it too. But anyways, no, I don't know if you'd like it. It's good.
I watched an episode. I remember that and be like, it's The Witcher.
You just kept living your life.
That's scary. I already know him.
Henry Cavill, just as boring.
Yeah. I don't have the energy to field that one, but so I'm excited. I think this was kind of a duh. Witcher is one of the bigger video game entertainment franchises out there right now, and I'm excited. I'm excited by the potential. I understand why companies are doing it now, but it is bizarre that we've hit this stage in development where like some of these huge games are just getting announced by a blog post, like a couple of paragraphs, and that's it. Because Blizzard did it with their survival game. Witcher did it this, and I feel like did someone else?
Yeah, dude. Rockstar announced the next GTA.
That's what it was. Yeah,
at the bottom of a press release about GTA Online.
Right. Yeah.
We talked to their PR not too long ago, and I was like, "Is that the most anticlimactic way you've ever announced anything?" Got a good laugh from him.
Yeah, there you go. So, I can't imagine we see this game for a long, long time, but it's just the outside world of this in the development space is very interesting, and I really hope CD Projekt gets some better workplace rules. Give some people a break.
There was a quote from the director that he said, "Crunch won't happen under my watch." Not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt this early in the process and say they're being honest, but at least
hope he's right.
Yeah.
At least I don't know. They're trying to get out ahead of it. We'll see a few years down the line if that's true.
No Nestle Crunch bars allowed in CD Projekt Red's.
We got to get out of this. We got to get out of this. Okay, Alex, any parting thoughts here?
No, sir. Let's head over to topic of the week.
Welcome back to the GI show. We got him back, folks. After not being on for quite some time, the EIC is back. Andrew Reiner, and unfortunately, has to be escorted off the show for what he's wearing currently.
Yeah, screw you, Alex. Wearing a Twins jersey in Cubs Nation here? No.
In Cubs Nation. There's two of you with Cubs stuff, and I guarantee you one probably doesn't know a single player on the team.
Yeah, Reiner, that's really embarrassing.
I only know players from 1907.
Oh, there you go.
Their greatest year.
Yes, nothing could top that, possibly.
Right.
Reiner, you've been busy. You're the EIC, as we know, but you've also been reviewing a game or two. And last time we talked, it was fine, Final Fantasy, right? But this time we got a banger, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. The spin-off from the Borderlands series that I think a lot of people are very excited about, including you, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I adored this game, and it is, we've already kind of had a taste of this from Borderlands 2. There was the DLC that kind of did the same thing. This is a bigger and better version of that, fully fleshed out. It's a lot of fun. I played with Alex a little bit during the review process. I was giggling all the way through it. So was he.
Yeah.
Just over the action, we're taking on land sharks and just all sorts of wild beasts. And then just the characters that we're meeting along the way and the scenarios that are unfolding. Like it's a lot of fun. They want to make you laugh the whole way through. Not all the jokes land, but a lot of them do. And it's just upbeat. It has a really nice vibe to it. And I enjoyed all of it. I didn't want it to end.
Yeah. So backing up here, Tiny Tina, for those who didn't play the DLC, right? This is a Bunkers and Badasses session, as it's called in D&D, or in Borderlands, I should say. It is basically Dungeons and Dragons with Tina leading the way. You are the new recruit amongst Wanda Sykes' Fret character and Andy Samberg's Valentine character. And then Will Arnett is the Dragon Lord, the bad guy. And as it starts, you're trying to stop evil. It's kind of a conventional setup for a D&D campaign, but it gets really interesting when you start to play it. And I think that's one of the highlights for you, right, Reiner?
Yeah, so when the game begins, you have Tina. She's the dungeon master. She's leading this board game, right? This creative session of playing this game. And as you're playing it, you kind of transport yourself into the world, like what she's envisioning. You're envisioning it, and you're the new recruit, right? You're the Fate Maker or whatever, Fate Master. I can't remember what it was, but
Fate Maker. Yep.
Fate Maker. You are in this world. You're seeing it, and as she says things like you enter a mushroom kingdom, but at that point you're just walking through a normal forest, and all of a sudden, as she says Mushroom Kingdom, all the trees disappear, and it just becomes a lush forest, or a lush forest of mushrooms and stuff, right? Like it looks awesome, and it's fun because you have the other characters like doing the dice rolls, saying what they want to do in specific situations, such as Valentine needing a drawbridge to open, and
Yep.
The only thing he can think of is to romance that drawbridge, right? Which is just the weirdest thing, but they play it up, and you have these great voice actors all interacting together. Will Arnett constantly just calling you dumb and skillless. It's fantastic, right? I think it's just really zany and something different. And I like it a lot more than the Borderlands formula that it spins out of.
And I think that's part for me anyways too. It felt like Borderlands 3 was like the humor in that was kind of aimed at, I don't know,
too much
edgy internet humor, right? Like that kind of thing. And I think in this one, the you can feel that passion for Dungeons and Dragons mixed with just kind of the zany humor, right? And I think it lands a lot better than some of the previous stuff. It doesn't have quite the bite to it, which I appreciated. Not that I don't like, you know, darker jokes and stuff like that, right? But I felt like it just got grating after a while in Borderlands 3, whereas I haven't run into that here yet. And it sounds like you enjoyed it all the way through, right, Reiner?
Oh yeah, all the way through. And I agree with you. Like Borderlands 3, the characters were too big. Like they were trying too hard. I just didn't think that they were believable, and I thought they hurt the experience. Whereas here, you're more so leaning into the voice actors' their approach to comedy. And that really kind of sings for how their characters are portrayed. And I think that works really well. So none of the characters really grated on me or anything like that. There's some fun situations you get yourself in. You never really know what you're going to get yourself in. Just given the drawbridge example, your party may change things up on you.
For sure. Well, and speaking of Borderlands 3, I had maintained that had the best combat in the Borderlands series up until that point. But I think now there's a new crown wearer in that sense. Reiner, what did you think of like the gameplay of this, the moment to moment like gunplay and stuff?
It's still the Borderlands formula, a looter shooter at heart, where you're killing bosses and they drop, dozens of weapons or items that you could pick up at any given time. There is a lot of inventory management, but if you're staying on top of it, the green arrows going up, that's what you want. You don't need to pick everything up. And the gunplay is as solid and fluid as ever. But I think it feels more powerful now because you have all these fantasy elements on top of it. You have these spells and melee weapons and pets that are joining you in the fray. So at one point I had like an ice spell, or I was shooting ice crows out of my fingers. I had a wyvern flying overhead, barfing fire on people. I had a hammer that would create like lava earthquakes. My gun was shooting acid. And then my other one was shooting TNT arrows, this crossbow shooting TNT arrows. I felt like Thanos, right? Wearing an Infinity Gauntlet. I have every element at my disposal, basically. And you can unleash all that at once. You're just constantly unleashing hell on these enemies. And it's a lot of fun in that capacity. And made better with co-op. Like they really did a nice job of thinking through the frustrations people have with cooperative play. And have a really nice formula in place that Alex enters the game at level 5. He sees enemies at level 5. I enter the game at level 20. I see the enemies at level 20. We can have it be a shared loot experience where we're all getting our own loot, or you can make it competitive and have it all drop. And so you get to tailor it the way you want. Nobody's left behind. Nobody's power leveling. You're all having that same experience. And yeah. It was great. Say enough great things about cooperative play. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I think I would note is that I was in that situation. Reiner had played, X amount more hours than I had. And I was, the enemies were totally fine. Like I could fight them at level 8 or whatever I was at. But some of the gear that did drop for me was level 20, which I think, if I remember right, that's the case in almost all the Borderlands games. So I think if you're a vet of this, like you're going to be used to that. But Borderlands through and through, Borderlands has always done co-op very well, and that's why. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm very excited about.
That was my college go-to game with all my friends. I was telling Blake yesterday we got dinner, and I told him that we would search Craigslist for the cheapest possible televisions, and when they would like, oh, there's a big screen TV for $25 somebody's thrown away, and we would collect these and take them to his attic, and we'd have these big Borderlands LAN parties with like 5-6 TVs going at the same time. You can't fit that many people in your party, so everybody's playing single player and just living it up. And so I'm glad to hear that co-op is kind of alive and well here, because that's always been the big draw for me.
Yeah. Did you call it the Borderland parties?
That's very good. We weren't that smart. But
I think they call it the competitive angle of cooperative. They call it cooperative. So they created their own stupid term for it. Two things for the review we didn't check out. We only played it on PC. It has crossplay. Yep. We didn't get to see that. And then also couch co-op. They have that again. They've always supported that. They love the split screen, but we didn't get to see that. That's noted in the review. We'll see over the next couple days if we need another story or an update.
for sure. So, Reiner, let me ask you, do you think, because I think a lot of people were coming into this hoping this would be like the next step, right? Like something super. Alex, I saw you tweet about like how your excitement was tempered a little bit by it's like, well, I thought it was going to be more like crossbows and different like,
Yeah, when I
weaponry
heard
versus
that,
like guns and stuff.
yeah, when I heard that it was, the guns are still the big thing. I was like, oh, I was kind of hoping like you'd have maces and spears and more
Well,
fantastical weapons.
yeah, and you do, right? The one of
You
the new things is really honing on melee combat. You do get a slot for like a sword, a mace, like that kind of stuff. But Reiner,
Okay.
I guess my question to you, and kind of building off of Alex's thoughts, right? Like, is this for series vets? Do you think people who don't like the series are going to be interested in? Like, who is this game for in your mind?
I think it's a nice entry point just because it is a standalone thing. It has a different vibe than Borderlands. I think even in its overall design, where they get rid of the overworld, that's why I say I think this is Gearbox's best game. Like, I loved Borderlands 2, and I like the Borderlands series in general, but when you remove that overworld where you're just in those vehicles, those buggies driving along the terrain from point A to point B, doing backtracking. When you remove that, it becomes a tighter, more entertaining campaign experience. You now have an overworld that's very much like a Final Fantasy. It's isometric in perspective. You're very quickly moving between different levels, I guess you would call them. They're kind of open environments, but not to the level of Borderlands. So I think it's a tighter experience. I think it really kind of hits a home run with its vibe. To go to baseball, it really is. I think their best game, just mechanically and just from a design standpoint. Yes, it is kind of harking back to just this same looter shooter formula that we've been playing. And I agree with you. It would have been nice if my machine gun was something different, maybe a wood staff that still acted like a machine gun.
Right.
They could have gone a little further that way. But it's still a lot of fun. Like I didn't mind. It is still Borderlands. You got to remember that. These are Borderlands characters. It's just they're playing a game, and you're envisioning it as, a Borderlands character in a fantasy world, if that makes sense.
For sure. And I think this game was going to ride or die on the level of commitment the dev team and the writing team gave to the D&D aspect, right? And I so far have been very happy with it. I'm a relatively new D&D player, but just hearkening to that level of creativity and just goofiness, right?
Yeah.
Your smart ass friend in the group was like, what if we did this? And everyone's like, oh, but
Do you find that it's less effective because we've had like South Park's take on that sort of concept before?
That's a good question.
I think it kind of hits some of those same notes, but it's a welcome thing. Like I want more of this kind of stuff, right?
Cool.
And there's a point in the overworld. I don't want to spoil things for people, but there is a Cheeto, on the not the branded kind, but what do you call them? A cheese curl. Cheese curl. It's on the board. It's on the board. So you're in the fantasy world. There's this giant cheese thing in front of you that's blocking your path. And so, the party's talking about it like they're playing the board game, like, hey, Tina, you dropped some food on the board or, your cheese curl on the board. And she's like, oh, no, that is this. You must figure out how to overcome this. Yeah. There's just a goofy element there on top of it where they pull you out of the fantasy world and remind you that you're playing a game within a game kind of thing. And
it's kind of neat.
It's cool. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think South Park is so its own thing in my mind where it's like doesn't feel like it's taking too much from that, you know what I mean? But that is a good comparison, right?
I agree.
I hadn't thought about that. But and just the combat is so, like, the Borderlands combat always feels so good. They have shooting down to a science over there. So I'm curious, Alex, as the king of the Borderlands parties there, after this talk, like, are you more excited for this now? Like, where's your hype level at? And John and Blake, please jump into.
I think so. I didn't know that it wasn't open world anymore, like that they kind of tightened things up, and that's kind of a really welcome change for me. I felt like that I was really into that when I had time in college to dive into that open world, and now I would definitely prefer something tighter and more story focused, because that was always, as stupid as the stories were, I was always interested, like, oh, what's Handsome Jack gonna do next? Like, where are they taking this? And as ridiculous as it is and campy as it is, it was always interesting to me to see like how all that played into more of the like background setting, like Hyperion and all of the different brands of capitalism that are like warring for your money. I always thought that was like I know like a lot of games have done that since then, but like back in whenever that came out, 2010.
First one was I'm
thinking of the second one particularly.
Second one, I think that was 2012.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds right.
I don't know. It felt a little more novel back then. I know like a lot of RPGs have done that since in space, but that was always interesting to me. And so I'm excited to, and the DLC was great too back then. So I am excited to see that kind of shifted to a fantastical setting, especially when we've seen like these more serious interpretations, like Stranger Things, like their, themes of D&D and how it's like this dark and scary and brooding setting. And then you have this irreverent take. So I'm eager to play it.
Yeah, and don't expect a lot from the story, right? It's Will Arnett being a bad guy.
Yeah, and I'm good with that.
He's mean to you, right? And he wants to hurt you. And
by story, I should
bad
say encounters, like the set pieces,
Yeah,
there are cool set piece moments. Alex, did you see the lake?
I haven't seen the lake yet.
Oh,
no.
There is a visual. They do a visual thing at the lake that I was like, wow, they nailed that. That was very cool.
Because visually, like you said, it is a Borderlands game. It's not. I wasn't blown away. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just that is what you would expect it to be.
They kind of get away with that same art style that's always going to look good,
right?
But you can't really enhance it too much because you want it to be kind of simple in design. But it works. It works for what they're doing.
For sure. Yeah, John, did you want to jump in here? I don't know. Are you a Borderlands fan?
Yeah, I really liked the first two Borderlands. I went really hard on Borderlands 2, and I've kind of burned myself out on the series for about a decade. So I am actually pretty excited to jump into Wonderlands because I've given it such a long break, and just getting back into finding all these crazy weapons and exploring this new version of Borderlands. Like I'm kind of a little bit over the like semi post-apocalyptic like the Pandora, like the Pandora stuff. I know they kind of like in 3 they move off of Pandora a bit too, and for whatever reason I ended up skipping that, but this seems like fresh enough for me that it's the right time for me to jump back in.
Cool. And Blake,
what?
You look so pretty down there.
Thank you.
I like your sweatshirt. Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you work there?
Yeah, I did work there during my time in Napa Valley.
Yeah.
The game sounds great. Borderlands not for me. Probably not going to check it out, but sounds cool.
Yeah.
Well, all of you should come over. We should all hang out, play games. Blake, I can hand you a Switch.
I'll play if we can have a party at Reiner's house.
Let's do it.
I do need to get some TVs off of Craigslist.
Yeah,
to make this happen.
I will.
I was gonna say $25 TVs. Yeah.
Someone have like a router that we can bring.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can bring a couple. So.
All right, great.
Reiner, any parting thoughts before we move off of Tiny Tina here?
I just really enjoyed it. Like I had a blast playing it, and I can't wait to dive back into it. There's a nice post game endless dungeon that increases in difficulty. They even have Will Arnett do the tutorial for you, which is fantastic. Cool. And then there's like a myth rank you unlock at level 40, gives you more perks and stuff like that. And there's multi-class. You re-roll your class after you beat the game, so you can mess with that in different ways. But yeah, melding two classes together, you become even more powerful. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this game.
Cool. What did you give it?
9.5 out of 10.
9.5. There you go.
I give 2 scores. I give a 7 and a 9.5. That's
it. That's all the man's got.
The Reiner's
what I do.
I did watch. Someone made a comment on an old episode of Replay. It was Batman. Oh, I can't remember what, like lost something or other. But you gave it like a 0.75. I was like, Andrew Reiner? Did they get scores go down?
Yeah,
Hello?
that game was not playable. It gets a 0.75 for having Batman on the box. And
Yeah,
then,
right.
Otherwise, it's a complete failure.
I watched like 7 minutes of y'all trying to get off that rooftop, and I was like, "This is the greatest game ever."
Oh yeah, he's
ever
just
made.
getting
Yeah,
shot as he's laying on the ground. I mean, that's how you take down Batman. If he's down,
right.
take him out. The game got it right. I got it wrong in the review. It's a 10. Go back and update it.
Exactly. Speaking of Batman, you want to plug your podcast real quick? I don't know if you've got a chance to do that on the GI show here.
Yeah,
No.
we have a new podcast. My friend Phil Hoff and I, we've been lifelong comic readers, since the age of 8, I think both of us. And it's called From Panel to Podcast. We break down the week's news and comic books. So video games, movies, TV shows, and then we review each comic book that we read. Let you know if you should pick it up yourself. Yeah. Every week, every Tuesday, we drop new episodes.
Cool. Exciting stuff. All right. Well, Reiner has to go find a new baseball team to cheer for because the Cubs are bad. So we will see you on the
In
next
the World
segment.
Series.
You say
Yeah.
Welcome back to a GI show that can only be described as chaotic evil, probably at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Let's move on to the playlist here, which I'm sure the chaos will continue to prevail. A lot of games this week, literally
Yeah.
on the same day, which I don't understand why we're still doing this, but it is what it is. So we talked about Tiny Tina, and now, which one do I want to pick? Let's get it out of the way. Ghostwire Tokyo, Blake. Let's get into it.
That's right, Alex. I did beat Elden Ring last night.
That's what you
Okay.
want to talk
I'm
about?
talking about that. I've gotten a lot of grief over the years. People be like, "Oh, you don't like the Souls games because you're not good." Guess what? I beat it.
He
All
got
right.
good.
He
I
got good.
am the Elden Lord. I
What was-
get maidens. Don't get it twisted. I beat the game.
Hey, Blake, can you
I'll
hold the
tell
mic
you
in
what
front
I
of your
did.
face? Thank you.
Huh?
I said,
I'll tell
can
you what
hold the
I
mic in
did.
front of your face?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I did. I just want
What did you do?
What'd you do?
I beat Elden Beast first try.
That
I have no
is
idea
a
what that is.
spoiler, Blake.
Okay,
I
first
can't.
off,
I
one
can't.
word of Elden Beast is on the box of the game. Second off, beast could be anything. Everything in that game is an ugly beast.
That's true.
That's a
Including
different
me
boss.
messing up the world lands between. So I review Ghostwire Tokyo, the new game from Tango Gameworks. You might know them as the studio Shinji Mikami founded after spending nearly 2 decades at Capcom and then a brief little period contracting for Platinum Games and also Grasshopper, interestingly.
Mhm.
He set up that studio. They did the Evil Within games. He directed the first one. Some other people directed the other games. Ghostwire came out. I played it. Alex Stadnick is gone, which is great because he's not hosting.
Which is
He walked
great.
away.
Which is great.
Not here. I thought he's gonna ask me questions about how I felt about the game, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out. Blake's got to host now."
Hey,
Welcome
Blake.
to the Game Informer show.
Hey, buddy. You
What's
good? You good?
Yeah, man.
Good? Okay. Good. I'm just checking, let's start with the story. What is the story of this game, and did you like it?
No, I mean, I did not like it. It's just like it's nothing.
What is the first part of the question? What is the story for the people who don't know?
You play as this dude, Akito. He wakes up in Shibuya Scramble. I think he got in a motorcycle accident, and everyone around him is just disappearing. And he's like, "Oh, not great. Don't like what's happening here." And then, like, for reasons never fully explained, he's possessed by a ghost named KK. And
AK
then
Slider. Love him. Love his
yeah.
work.
Or you know what I've been thinking is the
Hmm.
director of this game is Kenji Kimura. KK.
Maybe.
I don't know. But anyway, and then you have elemental powers, and everyone in Tokyo is gone, and they're replaced with creepy ghosts and yokai.
Okay.
And Akito's like, "Gotta save my sister," and KK's like, "Gotta save the world," and then you do it.
And then-
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah.
Spoilers. Like, look, it's not great. It's not bad. It just is. It's not interesting, but
Okay.
it gets you from point A.
It's
to
very predictable.
Yeah.
Every beat,
Okay.
you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I know what happens
See where
next.
this is going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. But you were pretty high on this game, so was it the combat that?
No.
Okay. What is it about Ghostwire that you enjoy?
I don't know. I feel like if you go to GameInformer.com, you read my review. I maybe over-explained the frustrations I was having with writing the review. Not with the game, with the review specifically, where I was playing it and I was like, a lot of this is a mediocre at best, and yet I love this game. I'm all about it, but I think. And I tried to put this in my text. I tried to be honest with the reader. I was like, I'm not really sure you will enjoy it. I'm not going to go out here and say it's a great game because there's a lot in it that's subpar on a good day. The stories, whatever. I mean, that's pretty standard for most video games, which also have bad stories. But the combat is kind of clunky.
Mm-hmm.
The formula of the game is basically Far Cry, but in Japan. But it just really hit me. I think the things it does well, it does better than most games. And maybe I was more charitable the week I played it, or whatever the case might be. But it outweighed a lot of that kind of bland stuff for me, and became a game I was really stoked to be playing every time I was playing it. It helps that I beat the game in 14 hours, which is not very long.
It's a Blake length there, yeah.
Yeah, that really helps. But the world is just great. It very much has. I feel like the closest thing I could compare it to is the Yakuza open worlds. Kamurocho, obviously, but Dotonbori. There's several others they've done throughout the years. In terms of just raw density of buildings and things going on, this game takes place in Shibuya, which is a very highly populated part of Tokyo. It literally opens in Shibuya Scramble, which you've seen. It's that wild crosswalk. I absolutely loved the world. I loved walking around, and even though there wasn't a ton to do, I think just the actual environmental design is really strong. The rapture happens in the game. It's the first cutscene, and so basically, aside from creepy ghosts, you are the only human in Shibuya. And that's really cool. And they represent it by if you've ever seen old Rapture movies, you'll see people's clothes fall to the ground because it's why are you going to bring your t-shirt to limbo with you?
Right.
That's everywhere. And it's such a cool touch. You'll go to Shibuya Scramble, or you can go down in the subways or areas where you could tell there would be a lot of people standing around, and it's just littered with clothes. And because everyone just vanished, and the game starts 1 second after, everything in the city is still functioning. So all the lights are still on, speaker systems are playing announcements and music, and you can go in the subway and all the shops are still open. It really, really sells that world. And it's very creepy and eerie in a way I just never got sick of. And also the ghost design is so cool.
Because it's based in Japanese folklore, right?
It is,
yeah.
It is, and I think they modernize it in some really cool ways. So there's the historical element. I think also they're drawing from a lot of more contemporary Japanese horror, which for most Western audiences, I'm not including myself here, is usually just women with very long black hair. There's a lot of that in the game. But it's really cool to see them kind of take these historical stories and modernize them, because the game does take place in modern day, and it's okay, so what would these yokai look like if they were here now as opposed to hundreds of years ago. I think all that stuff is great, and honestly it just outweighed the bad for me, which I don't know.
Okay.
I gave it an 8, which on the Game Informer scale is whatever it is. It's good. I definitely wrestled with giving it a lower score, but my wonderful editors, including John Carson himself, said it read like an 8. So that was what I ended up giving.
Okay.
Yeah, you said you were wrestling with giving it a higher score too, but despite the qualms that you had with it, you had a lot of glowing things to say about the world and the creepiness that it exudes. So
I think I tried Far Cry 6 and it was just it just didn't do it for me. But I don't inherently not like that formula. I'm just using Far Cry as an example because it's the bigger of them. I think like if you can give me a setting I'm really drawn to, I will still like be fine with going through the motions, which
off
is
the boxes and stuff.
yeah, exactly, which is kind of what these games are. And so for a setting to like really interest me and like environmental and character designs to really interest me, like it's going to kind of outweigh some of the things that are pretty bland. I think it's worth checking out. I saw some comments being like, well, you know, I'll probably check it out. I know it's like it's not Game of the Year material, but still maybe. And I'm like, I think that's kind of a really dumb way to think about
we need to
consuming art.
We need to get out of that mindset.
Yeah, and I mean, we're just as guilty of it too. How many times do we immediately forget about a game because it didn't score?
It's like, is this worth spending time with?
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, most games are probably worth spending time with just to experience it.
I think like be okay with a B-rate game. I don't mean that as like a negative, just like, you know, there's A movies, there's B movies, you know what I'm saying? Like be okay with that and realize like even though you're not getting freaking Elden Ring or whatever, some genre defining whoever the hell cares, like you're still getting a really cool experience out of that. Like let go of the pretensions that you only have to play the greatest Breath of the Wild thing of all time, you know? And I think you'll get a really good kick out of it, especially, I hate to say this, if you can buy it on sale or if it ever hits Game Pass, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm smitten with this game. I think it's awesome. I'm not going to act like it's doesn't really lack in a lot of ways, and I think people will not be as forgiving as I was because of that, which is completely fine and within your right. But for me, it hit.
Okay.
Probably helped. I was playing Elden Ring at the same time. It was like smooth brain game while I was playing that game.
Right. Yeah. Do you? We'll get off this in a second here, but my final question to you is: you said in your review, right? You don't recommend this to everyone.
Right.
Who do you recommend this to? Like, who do you?
Freaks.
Sickos. Yeah.
Sickos like me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think if you, it's a weird question.
It seems like a good game that like should have a demo.
Sure.
To like gauge interest at all.
This is maybe a problem with me. I rarely think about my audience when I'm writing. Who do I think this game is for? Probably just people like, you know, there's an exhausting quality to a game coming out and everybody be like, this is it, man. This is the one. It's like, it's kind of exhausting to be like, if I'm gonna play Elden Ring, I gotta really give it all my emotion. And that's how I felt playing Elden Ring, was like, I had to give it all my time and all my thought. And there's something appealing to being like, there's this other side game. It's not going to take me long to beat. It's going to be really cool for a very brief amount of time. I think if you're kind of craving that, then this is going to be your game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
I don't think you have to give it the emotional investment you do some games that come out that like get such high praise. Like if you just want a weekend game where you're like, yeah, that was really cool, and then it was over and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Like this is going to be your thing. Cool. And that's what it was for me. 14 out, can't beat that.
Yeah, that's great. I especially after Elden Ring, I'm looking for smaller chunks of games, and that would definitely fall into that. So reviews on the site, GameInformer.com. Video review is on the site or on the YouTube page, youtube.com/GameInformer. Shout out to Alex Van Aken for that. And then we have 2 NGTs up on it too. So if you want a little bit more, two chains. If you want some more context around the game, definitely go check those out. So John Carson, we'll go to you now. The other game that's releasing Friday. All these games on Friday. I don't understand why. You played Kirby, The Forgotten Land, which went from like, oh, that's what they're doing, to like one of my more hyped games of the spring. How did it turn out? What were your initial thoughts on it, John?
Yeah, I think Kirby and the Forgotten Land is really great. It's so the worry, my main worry going into it was, all right, this is Kirby's first like actual 3D adventure. Like they've done like 3D side games and stuff before, but that doesn't really count. But they're doing Kirby in 3D for the first time. They're dropping him in a world that looks kind of like ours, that's like post-apocalyptic and has like Kirby's going through like overgrown malls and like deserted theme parks and factories and all this stuff, and it's a little bit like unsettling to see it in trailers and in pictures. But like playing that game, like you still get like the joy and curiosity and fun of a regular Kirby title, but just like in this new interesting setting that he hasn't really been to before. I think I really love just about everything that it does. I love the world. I love the way it looks. I love the way it plays. Like the translation of Kirby's moveset to 3D, just like it feels natural. Like he has his regular like jumping and flying and like floating that he does. That feels good. He can vacuum in enemies and take some of their abilities. That like the whole copy ability system is still there as well. And all that feels great. What were you gonna say?
It's been iterated on, right, too, because it's not just the same old sucking things up. Like you can upgrade these abilities, correct?
Yeah. So there's probably a smaller amount of like base powers in the game than there would be in other Kirby games, but each of these can be like you can find blueprints and pay like different currencies to upgrade them or evolve them into different models. So the one I put in, the example I put in my review was the bomb ability. Like normally Kirby can toss out like 5 or 6 bombs in like different directions and like roll them or toss them. Like there's each of the abilities has like actually a surprising amount of moves to them. But when you evolve the bomb skill to like the next level, you get bombs that you can chain together. And if you have a certain amount of bombs in a specific area, they'll explode for longer and they'll explode with like bigger explosions. There's another one above that is a homing bomb, which still does the chain stuff, but it also like seeks out wherever the closest enemy is and starts heading towards those.
Okay.
But you can also like go back to the item shop and go back to previous versions if you want to. Like they all have their own little benefits, like blast power or like attack speed and whatnot. So you can kind of play around with which of these powers you like the most. And whenever you see like the fire ability, like, oh, I want the dragon or I want the volcano like magma version, like you can pick that ahead of time, and whenever you run into that in the levels, then you'll have whichever one that you've chosen.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a ton of variety there, and all of those powers are given like special like challenge levels called treasure road levels, and those are like timed missions where you're just supposed to like they give you whatever the power is, and you just have to like puzzle your way through it or just find your way to the end of the level using that power in its specific manner to get through. But you kind of have to do those levels to upgrade the powers because they give you these things called rare stones that you use to buy the upgrades.
Right. And those stones are not in the main levels?
I found some hidden in places.
Okay.
And there are rewards elsewhere in the game where you can find them, but they are primarily from those treasure road levels.
Got it.
So
Okay.
kind of like learning those abilities and like using those properly in those levels feeds into evolving other abilities. It's kind of a fun loop, I think there. So
For sure. In your review, you talk about how the game is not inherently that challenging. This is a kid's game.
Right. It is very much for all ages. It does have co-op as well, so you can bring in a second person who controls Bandana Waddle Dee, who like throws spears and stuff at enemies.
Cool.
I don't think that Waddle Dee can like take any other copy abilities, but if you have like a young child that you want to tag along or a significant other that wants to play with you, like just give them a controller and have them control whichever character they want to play, and you can play it through together. There are two difficulty modes as well. I was playing on the harder difficulty called Wild Mode, that is like they give you more like coin rewards for finishing levels and very minor rewards like that. But like even on that difficulty, it was a very very easy game to get through. And to rub it in Blake's face, this game was about 12 hours long, so it can get better than 14.
Wow. You got anything to say about that?
He's talking to my dog right now.
I'll kill you.
Speaking to the challenge of that experience, so how are the bosses? Because I think that was one of the exciting things coming into this is the Kirby bosses are, known for their scale, right? As much as they can be in the SNES, like Game Boy days, right? How were those experiences?
Those were fun. I was a little bit worried when I came across the first boss, which is like this big gorilla, and I was just kind of mashing whatever ability that I had against him. Like, he'll like pound the ground, and like there'll be like shockwaves that radiate out, and you have to dodge those. But like he was super easy. But each subsequent boss, they play very differently, and kind of going between this and Elden Ring, like. They were like, I was kind of seeing like these kind of feel like Souls bosses a little bit, like simplified Souls bosses. And they add like more utility to Kirby's moveset. So like there is a block, there is a dodge, and if you like dodge at the right time, it'll slow down time, and you can do like counterattacks and stuff. Which I actually would never use on any of the regular levels, but I found myself using on the bosses quite a bit. One thing we haven't talked about yet is the big new thing with this Kirby game outside of the 3D platforming stuff. It's mouthful mode, and that's Kirby shoving large objects into his mouth and taking those properties of them. And what's going on over there? You doing all right?
I think I just had a hot flash. As you were.
Yes, yeah. How do they work in practice? Like, 'cause we're all excited when we saw the trailer, but it's like, how does it actually work on a gameplay level?
Yeah, I think they're a lot of fun. So there are usually mouthful objects lying around the level. There's usually like at least one portion of a level that'll have something, and it'll be the first one you come across is like a rusted out beetle car that Kirby just inhales out of instinct and starts driving around as a car with his little feet hanging off the back. But there's stuff like giant light bulbs that you'll use in really dark levels to like illuminate the scenery, and you'll have kind of like Boo-like enemies who will chase you if you have the light on.
My favorite one, there's a boat that you can jump on, and you're essentially shooting air out of your mouth, and you don't realize like there's like windmills around the map that you're like using to move around parts of the environment. And then in one of those, like you pull up a boat that comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, and then you jump on the boat, and then it clicks in your brain. You're like, oh my God, the wind! I'm shooting wind out of my mouth, and then you were suddenly a motorboat and shooting yourself around the environment on water via boat. It's so cool.
Yeah, they play with those things a lot, and it's like some of the mouthful objects. Like there's like globes that will like that Kirby will I don't know shove into his mouth and then like wiggle free, like wiggle the top of it free.
Yeah,
and there'll be like an item inside, or there's storage lockers that he'll do the same thing for, and basically the only interaction is for Kirby to knock it over so you can see something behind it or get to another thing behind it.
Cool.
But there's also different puzzles in the environment. Like, you'll see like a triangle on the wall, and you realize like, I need to find a cone so I can do like the mouthful cone Kirby to then shove that triangle cone into this triangle piece and solve a puzzle that way. So they play around with that system quite a bit, and it's surprisingly not boring halfway through. Like they just keep finding ways of making that interesting and fun. So
cool.
Yeah,
nice.
One thing that I don't know if I could fully talk about this at the moment because of embargoes and whatnot, but I feel like Nintendo's really getting the hang of making super exciting closing chapters to their games. Like if you look at Mario Odyssey, like the whole spoilers for Mario Odyssey, like the whole last level, taking over Bowser with Cappy and like doing that grand escape, or the final portion of
Bowser's Fury.
Bowser's Fury or Metroid Dread, when you're just like super powerful and like it's like this really fun emotional like moment where everything comes to a crescendo and like you're grinning ear to ear about like what's happening on the screen. Like Kirby has a moment like that as well, and so like by the end of the game, I was riding so high on the experiences.
Nice.
It was a ton of fun.
Good. I'm very happy to hear that. I wasn't sure. This was a step for them, right? Outside of a couple of random offshoot Kirby games, like this is the first 3D adventure, and it sounds like a lot of those risks paid off, which is very exciting.
And I would say like it doesn't hit like the highs of like a Mario Odyssey or like a Mario Galaxy even, but it is like more similar to a Mario 3D World. And I would kind of treat it like that. Like if you have other games that you're playing too, just like pick this up for a level or two and just like let this be your side game, and you're going to enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Even if it's your main game, if you just want to blow through it in a weekend, do it. Like whatever.
There you go. Cool. It goes back to Blake's point, right? Not everything needs to be Galaxy or Odyssey or you said 3D World though, but there's a certain person on our news team who
don't even bring this up.
3D World's great. It is not the best Mario game.
Don't even give Wes the satisfaction of
using your.
He's a sicko, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to give out Wes's email address by the way, since you're giving out everyone else's?
Wes LeBlanc, GameInformer.com.
Perfect.
They're all the same.
I don't feel bad giving out our email address.
I know,
on
it's
our
on the
website.
Yeah, it's literally on all of our Twitter pages. Yeah. Cool. What'd you
I'll
give?
dox my coworkers.
Thank you.
We
know
family.
that's how you show love. I gave it a 9. I gave Kirby a 9. It's a 9 out of 10.
It's a good score.
This game's awesome.
Yeah.
You should play it. Don't let it get lost in the mix this year. There's a lot of great stuff out. If you look at really any of our reviews from this year, it's just been banger after banger after banger every week for the last like 2 months. So
I saw a comment on YouTube that said the only score this site gives out is a 9. And I replied, you have to go to YouTube to find out what I said.
Oh,
I gave Ghostwire an 8.
I'm not even going to tell you what video it was. You just have to go and watch all the videos.
You have to go looking. Cool.
Scour the loads of comments.
I gave Lost Ark like an 8.25. Like,
oh, there you go.
Can't tell them that. They have to go look. I'm actually gonna go look right now. I'm gonna go check out the YouTube page. So
Great.
I'll be right back.
all right.
Was that how you were ending this segment?
Yeah. Well, it was.
That was
And then I realized it was bad. So.
And welcome back to the Game Informer Show. It is time for listener emails. But of course, you know that before listener emails is housekeeping. This is the part of the show where we tell you what's going on in the world of Game Informer. We start off every week with a new podcast review. Of course, if you enjoy the show and you listen on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. It really helps us out. And has really been instrumental in helping us, climb the charts. People subscribing and reviewing it. It's a great thing. If you're on Spotify, you can rate us. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. This week's review comes in from Nate Torres 98, a 5-star review saying, "Mailman walking." That's the subject line, and it's in all caps, and I just can't help but think that Nate wanted me to read it in a New York accent. Mailman walking here. I don't know. Mailman walking.
Keep going. Nope, you're in character. Keep going.
Mailman walking here. Hey guys, my name's Nate. I'm from Salem, New Hampshire. I work in Wakefield as a mailman, and I've been listening to you guys since the beginning. Sad face that Ben left. My favorite game is the Sly Cooper series. Have a wonderful day.
Now let's do a take as Christopher Walken.
Oh God.
There you go. Not a mailman. Yeah.
But he's a mailman.
Walking. Hey guys, my name is Nate. I'm from Salem, New Hampshire. I work in Wakefield as a mailman, and I've been listening to you guys since the beginning.
Oh, you're gonna keep going. Yeah.
Sad face that Ben left. My favorite game is the Sly Cooper series. Have a wonderful day. I don't know.
You said screw it at the end, and you just what you're.
I've never done that's my first time ever doing a Walken impression.
It's it's like a good
did it.
6 out of 10. But yeah, I approve.
Walking Wakefield as a mailman. I don't know.
Stab him in the face with a soldering iron.
Yeah.
Nate, thank you for that 5-star review, my friend. And thank you everybody else who's left a review recently. We've got some new ones coming in. Of course, if you want us to shout you out on the show, go leave us an honest review on Apple Podcasts, and we'll be sure to do so. Weekly streams this week, Thursday, Friday, 2 p.m. Central, twitch.tv/Game Informer. I think we're going to be checking out Tiny Tina, maybe? That'd be cool.
We'll see. On maybe the Friday slot. Maybe we're still figuring.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I'm just throwing out game names. Fortnite. I like Fortnite. New season's out. Kirby.
There you go.
I don't think we can stream that till the game's out.
Friday. Yeah.
But a lot of cool games coming up. So expect to see a cool Twitch stream. Twitch.tv/Game Informer. Notable YouTube videos this week. We've got a lot of reviews out. We've got 3. We've got Ghostwire Tokyo review out. 3? Okay. Alex put thumbs up, and I was.
Oh no, I did. I thought I did 3.
Yeah, I thought your index finger was just like a 4th.
Right.
I thought you just had a short index finger. Ghostwire, Kirby, Tiny Tina. We've got video reviews for all of those up on the YouTube channel. It's been great. We also have more Forspoken videos up there, exclusive gameplay, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So head over to youtube.com/Game Informer. Don't forget to follow the crew here on social media. He's not here anymore, but you can follow our boss, Andrew Reiner, at Andrew_Reiner. Follow Mr. John Carson at John_Carson. Follow Blake at Metallica is Rad. Follow Alex Stadnick at Studnick76, and you can follow me at It's Van Aken. Lastly, listen to all of our video game podcasts, Video Gameography, All Things Nintendo, and From Panel to Podcast. Alex, over to you.
Listener emails. Here we go, folks. This is the time of the show where you get to write in and we get to talk. Have a little dialogue. You can let us know your questions, thoughts, concerns. A lot of you sent in nightmares, which I appreciate, and I'm sorry you're not sleeping well. But the community emails have been a lot of fun, as it always is. But especially like last week's, we had a lot of fun with. If you missed it, go check it out. So, Alex Van Aken, I know. People can send in their questions to podcast@gameinformer.com, but how else? There's got to be another way, right?
I mean, Discord, Alex. If they go to twitch.tv/Game Informer and subscribe, that gets them access to the Discord server. They just have to open up the Discord app, sync their Discord and their Twitch accounts together, and then in the Discord integrations, our server should appear, and they can join the server and ask questions about the show, talk with the community, and just have a great time.
Or they can also prey on my fear of Animal the Muppet and send scary images of him. That was fun.
That too.
Yeah. We banned that guy. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Going on. This week we got some good questions here. First up from Fujio. Stop! No, he is terrifying. Get him out of here. God. Anyways, Shifujui says, today I learned Minnesotans say duck, duck, gray duck, which is the right pronunciation, instead of duck, duck, goose. What is your favorite regionalism?
I've never heard of that before.
Duck, duck, gray duck sounds so much better than duck, duck, goose.
Hold up.
First, it flows off the tongue better, 100%. What do you got,
First off, Stadnick, hush.
Did you just hush me on our own show?
Yeah, and I'll do it again. I'm not from Minnesota, but I live here. Y'all say some dumb shit around here.
Like what? All right, let's get into it. Like what?
Off, y'all call soda pop dumb.
Yeah.
I agreed.
Hey, can I have a pop?
You intentionally mispronounce words. It's roof, not roof.
Roof.
Okay, well, you're all right, though.
Yeah, okay, continue.
Y'all say all kinds of dumb stuff around here.
They call a library, they say library.
Yeah.
They say.
Who are you hanging out with?
Instead of Colorado, they said Colorado.
Instead of
just lying now.
Instead of Minneapolis, they call it Minneapolis.
Yeah, they had another.
That checks out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry that these people find it appropriate to lie to you about culturalisms and regionalisms. But no one colloquialisms that too.
Culturisms.
Y'all are just hanging out with the wrong people, then.
We hang out with you.
Correct.
You're the
That's
only
what I'm
person
saying. Yeah.
You and Blake are the only people I hang out with.
What do you say? I say
And
Minneapolis.
sometimes John Carson and Dan Tack.
I mean, you should call me up more often. But
Yeah, we
I
should call
know.
John more often than we call Alex.
yeah.
I
don't know if you're gonna get anything better from me though.
No, it's nowhere near as dumb as Bubbler. Let's just throw that one.
Well,
out
listen.
there.
All right, yeah. So, all right. You call
was
out my
above
homeland.
Yep.
So I'm of course from Milwaukee originally. So we have a
What?
few of these things. Bubbler. Bubbler is a water fountain that you would drink from. I don't really know the where that comes from, but hey, those are 100% bubblers in my world.
100% dumb.
Also, we have time machines, which are ATMs. It's spelled TYME.
What?
They were all just time machines.
Wait, are you for real?
Yeah, 100%. Like, oh, I'm gonna go take out some cash from the time machine because like the brand was time. Yeah, so we have those two. I think those are maybe the big offenders, but yeah, we call soda. We call it duck goose, like you should.
Dr. Grey Duck just rolls off the tongue better.
No, it doesn't. You have to
No,
say
it doesn't.
another
You're
word.
fitting more words.
That doesn't mean
Yeah.
it doesn't sound better. Duck Grey Duck.
Goose.
It's just like it sounds
Duck
lazy.
Grey Duck.
You know?
Duck Grey Duck.
Duck-
Duck Goose.
Duck Goose
Bro,
is more inclusive.
that was-
It brings in an entirely new bird species to the mix.
Oh, this show.
Okay, first off, Alex, let me put on my editor hat here. Less words, always better for clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, what more do you need?
That's
You
the
work,
argument.
you work for
That's
one of
right
the
there.
largest print publications in the entire world. You should
Listen,
know.
I'm gonna
You
offer
said
this.
clarity. I'm saying sounding better, rolling
gonna-
off the tongue.
Claire,
Can I offer an olive branch here? Can we make the change today for Minnesota to make a better Minnesota that it's duck loon because the loon is
No.
the state bird?
Oh wait, Duck Grey Goose, because it's the party central, baby.
no, I'm sober.
Oh dang it!
Yeah, and we're gonna
You never
need
told me that.
we're gonna need
You know
at
what-
least 4 more hours to workshop this, guys.
You know what the problem with Minnesota is?
Yes.
Is
too many-
we're so damn close to Canada, where they got the dumbest words in history.
Loonies,
don't you know?
toonies.
Toonies. Do you know what they call a garbage disposal over there? A garburator.
I actually
I'm not
really
making
like
this up.
Carburetor
I'm
though.
not making
That's a
this up.
Pokemon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Haley McLean told me this, who lives in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is because we're so close to Canada, their idiot words are trickling down to this idiot state. Well, I'm from Louisville, where we
I was gonna say,
things-
what are you talking about? Your biggest claim to fame is bats. Like, what are we talking about here?
So
You got okay. First off, you have an MLB team here, and I bet all of them are thanking my city for the bats we make, the Louisville Slugger, and y'all got
Every
that
one of 'em.
sick ass Carrie Underwood song out of it.
by your logic there, does the dumbest things trickle down to you?
No,
Your
no,
state?
we
Okay.
don't say dumb things. We don't have like the only thing we say is we have the contraction y'all, which like used to be.
I like it.
People used to be like, it's not a word. And it's like, well, Webster's recognize that and ain't. And that's like the two we use the most, y'all and ain't.
You're set. There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. This
Being from
question-
Virginia, that's same for me.
Yeah.
Y'all and ain't.
There you go.
We have a
Also-
grasp of the English language. We're not making it up as we go, like you Northerners.
Also, in the South, they call all pop Coke. So it's like, what the hell are we
No,
even
we don't.
discussing
No,
here?
we call
Yes,
it
they do.
soda.
Soda.
All right,
Alex,
whatever.
where have you been in the South?
I've been to Florida. Been to
Doesn't
Georgia.
count. Doesn't count.
I hate this episode. I'm just gonna throw it
Ohio.
out there.
Florida is
I
not
hate
the
this
South.
episode. Yeah.
Florida is Florida.
Moving on. Also, I like that the question was what was our favorite regionalism, and we just spent the whole time on Minnesota.
I
It was
gave
great.
you mine. It's Bubbler and Time Machine.
Yeah.
That's
it was
What is your
exciting.
favorite one, Alex?
I don't care anymore. I'm over this question. Moving on.
I like
Uh,
Garburator.
Hey,
Noah on Discord says, "You're a kid. It's
Mhm.
Saturday, and you're playing video games as you do on Saturday. Your mom/parent/guardian brings you awesome food to eat while you play. What are you eating, and what are you playing?" let's take you back, right? We're gonna bring it back to the
Uh,
glory days, right?
Dad, can I have my friend Mike stay over?
You finish your homework?
I mean, kinda. It's
What fantasy is this?
Yeah, can we not do some like son daddy stuff on the show?
John's got some demons to get out here. Yeah.
no, I would probably like let's say that's the situation. I have a friend over.
Mhm.
We built a cool fort in the living room. We're sitting there. We're playing some Toe Jam and Earl. We're doing co-op.
Okay.
I'm Earl. He's Toe Jam. We're trying to get through these levels. Snack wise, I don't like some bagel bites.
Mm.
Give me some nachos.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe a frozen pizza. It doesn't take much.
Love some bagel bites. Yeah. Very nice.
Man, I'm gonna have to out myself as a freak here.
Oh, you haven't done that already?
Name 7 times I've done it, Alex.
We did this in the car the other day. I can't remember what we were talking about. Oh, never mind. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, it was your 7 favorite things about Blake.
I couldn't name them.
I think if my mom's making me a treat, she's making me 1 or 2 things, perhaps both, because I'm an only child, spoiled rotten. That is deviled eggs.
I was not expecting deviled eggs. Okay, yeah.
Or chicken salad. My 2 favorite foods.
Sure.
Okay.
All
right.
And what am I playing? Probably
Lots of
Kingdom-
mayo, right?
Oh
mayo
yeah,
on both
I
of those?
love mayonnaise, dude. It's a great
mayo is
condiment.
great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what am I playing? Probably Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
Okay.
sick.
First one?
First one, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The good
Okay.
one. The rest of
You haven't played the rest of them. Alex Van Aken.
I played 2 and Dream Drop Distance and 3 and not Dream Drop Distance. I played the one that was on GBA that they remade on PS2.
Chain of Memories.
In memories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bad game.
Yeah, I don't like Chain of Memories.
It's a card game though, so it bumps it up like 3 points.
Like
It
I
does.
said, it's a card game. Bad
Bad game. Yeah. AVA, how about you?
How old am I supposed to be in this scenario?
You're a kid.
Give us whatever your heart desires in this one.
I'm 11 years old. It's a Saturday morning. I'm playing Mech Assault 2 Lone Wolf on Xbox with the girl that I thought was my girlfriend at the time. Don't even remember her name. And my grandma, because my mom's at work, my grandma brings me some Oreos with peanut butter.
Yeah.
You dip the Oreos in the peanut butter. Or some bagel bites, baby.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Give me
Maybe-
a tray,
Good.
pop them in the microwave.
Maybe if it's Saturday night, you know, grandma's starting to cook dinner.
Oh,
We got the stuffed tomatoes with some Parmesan, oregano, and some breadcrumbs. Ooh-wee.
ooh. Yeah, that sounds nice.
Boy,
Sounds
were
really
those
nice.
dry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold up.
it's-
Oreos and peanut butter?
Yeah. You never
Yeah,
watched
Chuck-
Parent Trap?
chocolate peanut butter. Which one?
The I guess the Lindsay
The
Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan one,
Got
the
it,
best
okay.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
learn
don't know.
it from that
I don't
movie.
know. Haley Mills had a pretty good run at it.
I'm not debating Parent Trap on this
Um,
on this episode.
Bro, I'm dunking my Oreos in milk only. And I'm
Milk
doing it
only.
till they
Both
get
are good.
soggy,
You gotta get
soggy, just
soggy,
to the
yeah.
point they're about to break off, and then I'm letting it just melt on my tongue, and I'm mashing it all in there.
Here's a thing we can argue about too. Double stuff or regular?
Double.
Neither.
What, you just like have just the cookie part? What do you mean neither?
Oh, actually, yeah. I would actually just rather have the cookie part. I think the frosting in an Oreo is overrated.
You're a
What is
monster.
wrong with you?
You're a monster. This is community emails
But-
getting violent.
but single
Yeah.
stuff. If we're gonna go there, single stuff.
You know what I got recently from the Uptown Lunds in Byerly
Mhm.
is a bag of mini Oreos.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Too much cookie.
Underrated.
Very
Underrated.
Oreo thins also very
Yeah.
good. Pistachio
here's-
flavored.
Now you're crazy. Yeah.
Here's the thing people won't talk about. The Lunds and Byerly bakery section out of control.
Unreal.
Oh, totally.
Unreal.
So good.
Get some donuts there. We get donuts there like every
Nah,
weekend.
I usually get the cookies.
The cookies, bro.
Mm.
Oh my god. Don't even get
The M&M
Bad day.
cookies. The
Oh,
M&M
hell yeah.
cookies. That I've looked. because I was like, are they making these M&Ms in house? And they're just standard M&Ms.
Yeah.
But like they're doing something to them because they taste different. They are.
Yeah.
It's like a brighter chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking
so
about? I've
good.
read 2 Anthony Bourdain books. I know how to talk about food.
Yeah. Cool. I was gonna say.
How about you?
I guess I have one. Let me set the scene. It's a 30-degree May day, right? It's snowing. There's a snow day out. My buddy's still,
May?
just wait. You're getting there.
I got this state.
It's the snow is coming down, and it's too much. My friend's parents don't want to come pick him up right now from the sleepover, so we're just chilling, right? We got either Smash Bros. Melee or James Bond Nightfire on the TV, right? It's on the second TV we have downstairs because my dad doesn't let us use the big TV, right? And then my mom brings down Puppy Chow. Just these. Oh my God!
And dusty fingerprints all over everything.
Yep, and it doesn't matter because it tastes so good. You never had Puppy Chow? Oh,
your mom fed you dog food?
Yeah, she opened up a can.
Yeah.
I've never had Puppy Chow. I think that was made in Kentucky.
Yeah, dude, you didn't know that?
There you go, Stadnick. Come over, bro. What is Puppy Chow?
Puppy Chow is like you get like Chex Mix cereal, and then you coat it with peanut butter, chocolate, and white powder sugar.
Okay,
and you just pop them all
gotcha.
time. Ooh.
Yeah, we call that something different in Kentucky.
What do you call it?
Chex Mix with chocolate.
Call it Dusty Squares.
It's my least favorite regionalism.
Call it the bird vomit.
Now you're trying too hard to get under my skin. You already live there. Last one, and then you do. So sweet.
How about I dig a little deeper?
Last one. This one is from Keith, aka Rocket Scientist, excuse me. And this one comes from his email. Keith says, "Sorry, but I got delayed submitting my question." Yeah, dude, we were expecting a while. Mm-hmm. Speaking of delays, which game did you pick up a while after it came out and thoroughly enjoyed because of the polish it accrued because of time? For me, it was Diablo 3. I heard it was a mess at launch, but by the time I jumped in, it was so good. That's from Keith. So this is a good one. For me, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the newest one from EA and DICE.
I'm like, the original didn't really have patches.
So. Yeah, I was gonna say original one's great, but the newest one, game was bad at launch, very bad. Microtransactions up the hoo-ha. Not a fan. Cancel my pre-order. Talked about it before. Yeah. And then last year, we're in a little bit of a drought for games around summertime. And I was like, it's on. I have it through EA Ultimate or whatever it is, my Game Pass Ultimate subscription or whatever. And I turned it on, and it was exactly the game I had hoped it would be back. What I think that originally came out in 2017, 2018, around there. So it was like 3 years later or whatever, and I had heard they finally got it to a great place, but I hadn't had any interest in that. And booting it up last year, I was like, oh, this is incredible. Like the shooting felt great. The hero battles were fantastic. The breadth of stages that they added were great. And I never felt like I was behind because I'd played it, right? Because they got rid of all the microtransaction stuff. And it's a really great game. And I'm still sad that EA had to learn that the hard way, that not pepper your game with microtransactions. So that was a bummer. But the game is very good now. And if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you should check it out. Or because that comes with EA access or whatever it is. So so very good game. John, how about you?
Mine's gonna be pretty easy, I guess. Mine's probably Final Fantasy 14 because that was originally just famously a train wreck, and brought on some new people to revamp it and relaunch it, and ever since its first expansion relaunch, it's been really, really great. And I will say I played a tiny bit of 1.0 of that game, and just really didn't give it much time. I had heard bad things about it. I'm like, I got to see how bad this is, and didn't really get to see how bad it was, and just dropped it. But then years later, I went full bore into it, and now I've played all the expansions and put 300 hours into it. And
literally wrote the review for it.
Wrote the review for the recent expansion. It's really great. So play that.
That's a good one. That's a good call out. So, Blake, how about you? You have one for this?
None really come to mind, man. But
Mhm.
for lack of an answer, all games getting updated. Kane Lynch 2 Dog Days.
Perfect.
I hadn't played until
Fortnite?
2 years. No, I guess Fortnite. But
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I hadn't played Kane Lynch 2 until 2 years ago.
There
And
you
I
go.
assume by then, I played it at its best form.
Probably, yeah. Can't imagine that's getting an update this year.
And I
but
tell
who
you
knows?
what, love it. Probably one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. So there we go.
Nice.
There you
Blake, quick question: have you been playing Fortnite in the last week with the
Yes.
big changes? How do you feel about them taking out building?
It's neat.
Cool, great, awesome.
Alex Van Aken, take us home.
I've been thinking about this one. I think the only one that really probably applies to me is probably League of Legends.
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like if a game comes out that's not great, I typically skip it. Or I'm already playing it when it's not great and I don't wait. Whereas League was always great as far as I know. But again, like it's just been updated so many times. Like I came in after the map had been reworked and like recently the items were reworked. So yeah, probably League.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, that was community emails. This has been a show. This has been episode, what do we say, 596? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
We're coming up on 600, and I think we're going to brainstorm. Can't confirm anything yet, but we're brainstorming on if we're going to do anything for episode 600. But that's crazy, 600 episodes of this thing. So we appreciate your support, as Alex said in the community email section. We have seen a rise in engagement, and that's from all of you supporting us, and we are eternally grateful for that. But yeah, those reviews help us more than you know, and the results are showing now. So thank you. Be good to one another. I'm gonna go take a nap or just try to recover from this, this episode of the podcast. So we'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Put the knife away, but get rid of it.
It's my best knife. I'm not getting rid of it.
You throw it into the wall.